It's time to undouche your marketing, to undouche your advertising and your sales, and to do the exact opposite of 99.9% of other entrepreneurs, small business owners, copywriters, marketers. Time to undouche all of your sales, advertising, and marketing. In this video, I'll show you exactly how to do it quickly and easily. Michael McLean, brassballsvideos.com. You can download a free copy of my brand new book. The link is below, brassballsvideos.com. The title of the book, 5 Ways to Unfuck Your Life in the Next Month. If you find that offensive or too straightforward, please do not download the book. If you're looking to, if winning is your sport, click the link below, download it, print it off, study it, share it with your family, your staff, whoever. My free gift to you. So, undouche your marketing, undouche. So, let me just set the table for you here before I go on a crazy rant. Most marketing now and advertising, especially on anti-social media, the rat poison of anti-social media, whether it's channels like this, whether it's guys like me, coaches, consultants, the worst, the wet behind the ear gurus, the pretend experts who've never won anything, but they sell winning, or the fuzzy-headed academics who have, with the MBAs and the PhDs, who've never left campus in the last 40 years, all dispensing dangerous advice. But here's the thing, the really good news. Most people now are onto it. Most people, entrepreneurs, small business owners, marketers, copywriters, they're sick and tired of the pro wrestling angle. They're sick and tired of everything being fake. They're sick and tired of the pro wrestling advertising and marketing and content creation that none of it's based in reality. None of it is based in reality. And it's taken a few years for people to realize, most people are trusting, that most of these guys online, most of these charlatans, most of these shovel sellers, I call them, that it's what they're doing is they're selling stuff that's long on style, short on substance. It doesn't work. It never worked. They never had success. And the only way they make any money is by selling these fairy tales that it does. So you need to focus on what successful people do, not on what they say they do. Two very, very different things. I'll never forget the time that I was at Life Mastery in Kona, Hawaii at the Tony Robbins, the big one. 15 days, the 80-foot fire walk, all that stuff. And Tony brought in Michael Jordan and Robin Will. It was just tremendous. Absolutely changed my life. This is 25, 30 years ago. And one of the things I'll never remember is Tony's pitch and date with destiny at the end, right? So we go to this mastery program in Kona. It's 15 days. It's $12,000, every penny I have. And this is back 25, 30 years ago. But Tony Robbins to me is the greatest salesman alive, period. I mean, he's not the greatest coach, although I think he's outstanding. But I think, to his credit, I've always said, Tony Robbins is the greatest salesman alive. And I mean, maybe Elon Musk is better, I don't know. Maybe Henry Ford was better, I don't know. It's hard to say, but Robbins he's in another planet when it comes to salesmanship. But here's the thing. When this 15-day mastery was coming to an end, Robbins is up there pitching his wares, as he should be. He's got a room full of buyers, about 4,000 people in Hawaii. And he keeps talking about his second tier. So Mastery's number one, it's the most expensive. So he's got the best of his best in there. And he's talking about Date with Destiny. That's another one of his programs, if you're not familiar. And it's a marriage program. It's a family dynamic program. But basically, it's connecting with your spouse. You know, putting the fire and the enthusiasm back in your marriage. I wasn't married at the time. I was single. I didn't have a family. So I'm not interested in the message, right? Date with Destiny. Who gives a shit? I just want to be rich. I want to win hockey games, that kind of stuff. So I get home, and about 6 months later, and when he's up there, like the whole 15 days, he's parading out his wife, Becky, all the time, right? Oh, Becky, and she had kids, and we met, and instantly I had a family. These kids are now, they're not my stepkids. I consider them my own kids. You know, we've all heard that. We've all heard that from lots of people. And, you know, I married Becky, and we're kindred souls and all this stuff. We've all been guilty of, you know, that kind of stuff, right? Best friends, partners for life, and all this other stuff. But here's the thing, and it goes back to these experts and these so-called gurus, that you got to think for yourself, and you got to watch what people say as opposed to what they do. What did they really eat to get in that shape? How many times do they really walk or lift weights to get that body? What do they really do to get that six-pack? What do they do to really build an email list of 10,000 people? What did they really do to build a 6, 7, or 8-figure business? And in this case, about 6 months to a year later, I'm at home doing my shtick, and I hear that Robbins is getting a divorce. This is Mr. Date with Destiny. I never like to hear anybody. I'm a pro-marriage guy. I understand how hard marriage is. It's difficult. It's extremely. I've been married for 11 years to my best friend. It's hard. It's hard to stay married. But here's Robbins, and all of a sudden, he's divorcing his wife. And he tells the story about coming home from the road one day. I mean, a guy like that lives on the road, right? Especially back in the day. He'd be on the road 280 days a year, no question about it, putting on his seminars across the world. It's his mission. So he comes home one time, like a lot of pro coaches. I come from that business. I know all the NHL coaches on their third marriage, the NFL coaches on their third marriage, the college coaches on their third marriage, the CEOs on their fourth marriage. So Tony Robbins came home. This is his words, not mine. And he sat in his house for a few hours, and there was nothing. There was no connection with him and his wife. And he just said to his wife, I want a divorce. This isn't working for me. There's no passion. There's no excitement, whatever the hell, whatever, as if marriage is that. And that was it. But being the greatest salesman in the world, it was amazing. To this day, he still teaches this Date with Destiny. And he's remarried to one of his employees, one of the women that worked with him. I'm not sure what was going on there before he divorced his wife. Maybe he had somebody in the bullpen. Knowing Robbins, he probably did. So that's all alleged. And next thing you know, he never flinches. He never misses a beat. He's still selling the Date with Destiny. He goes through the divorce, all this stuff. So he's a guy, his marriage didn't work. It ended, it failed. But he literally selling millions of dollars of Date with Destiny. So that's just one of many examples of be careful who you're taking specific advice from. Now, if I want to learn how to make money, Tony Robbins is one of my guys. Warren Buffett's one of my guys. Elon Musk is one of my guys. If I want to learn how to be a better husband, I ain't listening to a word any of those three fuckers are saying. That's just reality. I'm not going to take marriage advice from Elon Musk I'm not going to take marriage advice from Warren Buffett. I'm not going to take marriage advice from any of these people. This would be the same as me taking how to raise children advice from Nick Saban or Bill Belichick. That's not what they did. If I want to learn how to create a suffocating defense, well, Saban and Belichick are my guys. If I want to learn about marketing, Dan Kennedy, Gary Halbert, John Carlton, these are my guys. These are my guys. If I want to learn leadership, Michael Jordan's my guy. I'm not going to take marriage advice from Jordan. I'm not going to take management advice from Henry Ford. So everybody has specialties and gifts, and you got to make sure that you're very careful who you're listening to, who you're following, whose stuff you're consuming, including mine. Like if I start talking about meditation, you need to run. You need to unsubscribe. You need to break up with me. If I start talking about mindfulness, my wife is a top person in these areas. If I start talking to you someday on one of these broken iPhone videos about mindfulness, you need to unsubscribe and you need to report me. We got some fucking lunatic out here talking about meditation and mindfulness, or MJM's talking about yoga. So you have to be aware of dangerous advice. And this brings me back to undouching your marketing. So you're a small business owner and an entrepreneur like I am. So it's very critical right now in 2024 that you look around at what everybody else is doing, online and offline, and you need to do the exact opposite, especially with artificial stupidity, artificial stupidity, because you need to be more authentic than you've ever been before as a person. Because people are fed up. Prospects, buyers, clients, patients, they're all sick and tired of the song and dance, the pro wrestling. It's all fake, none of it's real, and they're sick and tired of all of it. So when you're marketing your business or your products and services, when you're advertising, when you're writing an email, when you're writing your newsletter, when you're talking to a client or prospect, in my unhumble opinion, it's never been more important for all of your stuff to pass what Ben Settle calls the dirty milk test. And what Ben says, he says, when you're done writing an email or an ad or an article or a newsletter or a blog post or a phone script, whatever it is you create on or offline, stop yourself and say, does this pass the dirty milk test? And then Ben says the dirty milk test means, does any part of what you just created, any part, look, sound, or feel like anybody else's stuff? Does it look, sound, or feel like anybody else's stuff? Does the ad, does the script, does the video, does any of it look like somebody else's stuff? Is it the stale, dull, and is it the same? Me too. And if it is, tear it up and start over. I love that brilliant concept. Start again. Because his theory is, like the Gary Halbert, the late great Gary Halbert, one of the greatest copywriters of all time. Gary Halbert had the gun to your head marketing principle, right? That you need to write emails, copy, marketing, ads, like somebody has a pistol to your head. And if this ad doesn't work, if this blog post doesn't work, if this video doesn't sell, that gun goes off and you're finished. And that's a mindset. That's a mindset of, if my life depended on this, is this the email subject line I would use to get it opened? Is this the headline I would use in my ad if there was a pistol to my head? Is this gun to your head level writing copy? Life or death? And then Halbert would go back and he would improve the ad. He would improve the newsletter. He would improve the postcard. He would improve whatever it was he was writing with that gun to the head concept. It needs to be better, more shocking. It needs to be more riveting. It needs to be more powerful. It needs to have more wow. It needs to cut through the clutter and reach out, as he said, and grab the prospect by the throat. Does this subject line, does this title, does this headline reach out and grab the person by the throat and pull them in? If it doesn't do that, it doesn't pass what Ben said, the dirty milk test. And this is why you want your emails, your books, your videos, your advertisements, everything, your office decor, your signage. You want everything to look unique to you. You're not in the insurance business. You're in your name business. I'm not in the consulting business. I'm in the Michael McLean business. I was never in the insurance business. I was always in the Michael McLean business. I was never in the hockey business. I was always in the Michael McLean business. I was never in the barbershop business. I was in the Michael McLean business. And that means that I'm constantly selling Michael McLean. They're not buying a haircut. They're not buying an insurance policy. They're not sending their kid to play with me for 3 or 4 years. What they're doing is they're either buying me or they're not. So the more authentic you are in your marketing and advertising, the more honest and candid you are, the less fluff, the less theory, the less BS, the more people are going to know, like, and trust you. The less pro wrestling everything can be in terms of your business, the better you're going to do heading 2024 on. Because people are sick and tired. They're sick and tired of the lying, the cheating. They're sick and tired of the pretend gurus. They're sick and tired of being ripped off and disappointed. And I think there's an appetite now in business for authenticity and a no BS approach like never before. I really think if you have the guts, the mental brass balls to share with people your wins, your losses, your product flaws, your personal flaws, your life, your personality, your family, like I do. I lose more than I win. So I talk about being broke. I talk about being bankrupt. I talk about our ads that lose money. I talk about my problems with alcohol. I talk about being too fat, out of shape. I talk about getting fired in pro hockey. I talk about losing my way. I talk about marriage being so hard and difficult. I talk about the challenges of being a father in 2024. I talk about everything. And I make the skeleton dance. In other words, I'm not afraid to be vulnerable. I'm not some weak ass pussy, but I'm not afraid to show you that I struggle just like you do, maybe more. I'm very open with the fact that I don't have any special talents. I don't have any special abilities. I'm more of a ham and egger than I am anything else. I'm at hockey, as an analogy, I'm a fourth liner. I'm a guy who goes out there and bangs some bodies so that the good players can rest. And I've always been a ham and egger. And I'm grateful for that. But nobody's going to show up more consistently than me. So when you undouche your marketing and you get in the Michael McLean business or the Bill Gaw business or the Gordon Quinton business, or the David Linton business, or the Elon Musk business, or the Walt Disney business, all of a sudden you have no competition because God only made one of you. When you try to be like everybody else, now you're a commodity, and AI is going to finish you off for good in the next couple years. If AI writes your emails, if AI writes your scripts, if AI answers your phone, you're going to get slaughtered in the next 2 years. You're going to get slaughtered because AI is here to absolutely destroy anything that's common, anything that's ordinary, and anything that's a commodity. You should listen to that again. AI here is here now to kick the living daylights out of anything that's common, ordinary, boring, irrelevant, or a commodity. There won't be any middle of the road. There won't be any middle class. All of that will be replaced by artificial stupidity, by robots, by automation. So you're going to be at the top or you're going to be in trouble. So how in the world can you separate yourself from artificial stupidity and pretend experts and gurus and automation? All you have to do is undouche your marketing, undouche your advertising, undouche how you communicate. Instead of me sitting in a nice fancy studio every day, I shoot these broken iPhone videos, walking around in Naples or in Canada, in the snow, in the wind, in the heat, in the bugs. I never do a retake. If I mess up, I keep going. If I look like I need to shower or shave, I need to shower or shave, whatever. It's how I look in the morning. And it's all warts and it's all weaknesses and everything else. But it's just something that makes me a tiny bit unique. And I talk about the stuff that I struggle with. When I was struggling earlier in the consulting business 10 years ago, before I wrote an email or a newsletter article, or before I gave a speech, or even before I shot a video, I used to say this: I think my guys would love to hear that. Or I'd ask myself this question: what do I think my men would love to hear? How could I impress them? What would I talk about? And then I would talk about something like the 5 ways to save time, or the 3 ways to make more money, or whatever it was. And what was I doing with that mentality? I was being like everybody else. None of that thinking passed the dirty milk test. None of that was gun to your head. None of that was reach out and grab them by the throat and pull them in. None of it. It was me being an actor, a poser, and admittedly a bit of a fraud. Instead of just telling my authentic story, when I first got into business, I was like, what do people want to hear? I'm going to be like Tony. I'm going to be like Dan Kennedy. I'm going to be like Gary Halbert. And it's the most unauthentic thing you can do. But now in 2024, there's zero mercy because of artificial stupidity. They're going to replace the drones, the clones, and the Me Too's. If you're ordinary, if you're average, if you're mediocre with your marketing, your advertising, you're literally going to be a dinosaur. You're literally going to be extinct in the next 2 years. So it's time to do the exact opposite, like it always is, and undouche your marketing. Undouche your advertising, undouche your sales system. Stop sounding like a cheap used car salesman. Stop sounding like you're selling timeshares in a Florida swampland and start talking like you are. Talk about things you believe in. Talk about things you don't believe in. Talk about your values. Talk about your principles. Talk about what you love. Talk about what you dislike. Let people get to know you. I'm insured with Michael McLean. That was my goal in the insurance business. I never wanted my client to say, I'm insured with Progressive, I'm insured with Geico. I wanted them to say, if I did a good enough job with my newsletters, my videos, my free pizza, whatever, I wanted the person, if he's at a barbecue or she's at a cookout or a ball game, and somebody says, who are you insured with? I wanted my client to say, I'm insured with Michael McLean. Wasn't the company, we weren't a faceless corporation, we weren't, some big faceless, soulless corporation. I'm insured with Michael McLean, that family business. Where does your son play hockey? He plays for Coach McLean in Perth. Where do you get your hair cut? Oh, I go over to father and son's family barbershop. That's what you want, that authenticity. You want your business to have some soul. When your business has some heart and has some soul, you don't ever have to worry about artificial stupidity. See, the drivel that's out there now, people can instantly tell if you've used AI to write anything. And immediately they're turned off of you. You're making yourself radioactive if you use AI for content. Admittedly, I've never been on the app. I never will probably be on the app. I write every word, good or bad. I shoot every video, good or bad. I can barely work my MacBook. So I ain't going to be doing, tomato can chat soon or tomato can GPT or whatever it's called. I'm a content creator. I'm a coach. I'm a leader. I'm a kingmaker. But if you write an email with AI, or you write a newsletter with AI, or you write an advertisement with AI, or your phone scripts with AI, instantly people can tell, and it'll only get worse. And you marked yourself as lazy. You marked yourself as corporate and soulless. Your business has no soul. It has no personality. People want to what? They want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. They can smell AI fraud. It makes you an actor. It makes you a poser. It makes you like I was 20 years ago when I was first trying to impress people by what do I think they want to hear. Now I just get up and talk about whatever's on my mind. If I want to talk about Johnny Cash, I'll talk about Johnny Cash. I want to talk about Warren Buffett, I'll talk about Warren Buffett. I want to talk about homeschooling, I'll talk about homeschooling. I want to talk about alcohol, I'll talk about alcohol. I want to talk about Mark Zuckerberg, I'll talk about Mark Zuckerberg. And this is why our business is just growing exponentially. The more authentic I become, the more open book I become, the more vulnerable I become, the more I don't care about critics, doubters, haters, the better we do. So that's my huge recommendation to you right now. You better undouche all of your marketing, all of your advertising, all of your sales, and you better get in your name business. Your name business. That makes you literally unstoppable. It makes you, it puts you in a bubble where you don't have to worry about artificial stupidity. Do you think artificial stupidity can tell the story about your daughter's wedding? Do you think artificial stupidity can talk about your thoughts about the upcoming election? Do you think artificial stupidity can talk about your favorite books that you've read? Do you think artificial stupidity can talk about your favorite athletes or your favorite entrepreneurs? Do you think artificial stupidity can talk about your battles with weight or your battles with procrastination or your battles with fitness or your troubles as a man in 2024? No. And people, you make yourself magnetic to people because you're going to stand out like no tomorrow, because everybody is going to be using the AI the soulless done for you, just another step towards not being able to do anything. Meanwhile, all your marketing, all your advertising, all your content, all your communication is going to be from you, a flawed human being, a husband, a father, a grandfather, an entrepreneur, a community leader. And when people receive your emails and they receive your videos and they receive your books and they receive your correspondence, they don't have to take a fucking shower. You're the opposite of pro wrestling. They gradually believe in you. They gradually trust you. They gradually start to like you. They gradually start to refer to you because you're the opposite of the shovel sellers. You're the opposite of the actors, the posers. You're the opposite of the people in douchey pro wrestling marketing. Undouche your marketing today. I just gave you the blueprint. Speaking of blueprints that'll undouche your life and your business, download a copy of my free book below. The link is right there. 5 ways to unfuck your life in the next month. If you find that title harsh, go haunt somebody else's list or channel. This is not a place for you. My sport is winning, not whining, not excuse making, not politically correct poodle nonsense. 5 ways to unfuck your life in the next month. It's a free book, brand new book, ebook. Print it off, share it with the people that matter the most. Print it off, study it, leave a comment. Do you like it? Does it upset you? Did it help you? I'm not a poodle. I have alligator skin. I've been in pro hockey, amateur hockey, and entrepreneurship since age 12. There ain't nothing I haven't seen. Download it, brassballsvideos.com. It's my free gift to you, nothing else to buy. And in the meantime, whether that interests you or not, man, oh man, protect yourself. Get ready. AI is here. Artificial stupidity is here. And you need to do whatever you can. You need to do whatever you can to be the most authentic, the most vulnerable, the most humanized, the most entertaining entrepreneur you can be. Literally, it makes you untouchable. 10 feet tall and bulletproof when you undouche your marketing. And use the Ben Settle and the Gary Halbert, the dirty milk test. Does this look or smell or sound like anybody else? If it is, start again. And is this gun to your head? Is this a pistol to my head? Am I going to battle with this subject line, with this headline, with this hook, with this offer? If not, do it again. More personality, more uniqueness. The good Lord above, your creator, he made one of you. Stop hiding in plain sight. You're an entrepreneur, you're a leader, you're a husband, you're a father, you're a small business owner, you're a born leader. Your sport is winning. Stop hiding in plain sight. Stop hiding in plain sight. Wake up, wise up, and start sharing your life. The good, the bad, the ugly. Make your life about more than transactions. Make your business about, man, I learned something from him. He inspired me. He motivated me. He helped me. He taught me. Make your business about more than just transactions. Make your business about your soul, about your heart, about your legacy. Make it about significance. Make it about service. And you were put on this earth. You weren't put on this earth as an entrepreneur to hide in plain sight. Share your story. Share your wins. Share your losses. Share your dreams. We need this more than ever before in this world. We need kings and queens to step up, not step back, step up. Become a hero in your own home. Become a hero in your own niche. Become a leader. Become a kingmaker, a queen maker, and stop hiding in plain sight. And start by undouching your marketing and giving yourself a loaded deck, an unfair advantage, and as I would say, an extra player on the field. An extra player on the field. The link is below. 2 words that changed my life for my new book. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that can change yours. Be relentless.